I agree. I actually did. I would back Solskjaer that long. He did show glimpses of hope, but then again, being if I was a football director, I would have maybe pushed him to maybe do certain things and maybe push the board to maybe get some different coaches. Because as a football fan myself, and if I was a football director, I'd look at the tactics and I'd look at maybe can the manager do something different, and
Okay.
I'd try and help as much as I possibly can. Maybe till after the Liverpool.
Ross, I asked Indy there if he was director of football, when would he have sacked Solskjaer over the last 3 years? So same question to you and everybody else in the chat. When would you have sacked Solskjaer? What would have been your
Cutting out there.
So I'm just going to type here when I will you
We're
have
cutting out
sacked
again.
Ole. I'm in the car
Everyone
here,
in the chat hear
unfortunately.
me, or
Yeah, I hear
is
you,
it
Ross.
me?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a really interesting question, isn't it? And to be honest, I think these last few weeks have really proved, that he is truly out of his depth. And, a lot of people said it to me before Europa League final. I know Jay was, maybe the time that you would have. I don't want to assume, but
No,
to be
Ross,
honest,
it is. And I've got a record saying that, and I stick to that point. He was gone for me then.
yeah.
But I want to know when you would have done it, Ross.
I wouldn't have quite done it at that stage because I did think that it's very unlucky for a final. I didn't really think that determined that he's hit his ceiling. To be fair, I don't particularly agree with
That's
that.
okay.
But to
Okay.
be honest, I do think that these last few weeks have proven that he's out of his depth. To be honest, it might have been for myself. I couldn't give you an exact answer, but to me,
Okay.
really, it's since the start of the season, it's shown that, and I've said it before, that the quality of players that we've now bought, it was make or break for him anyway, because
Okay.
it takes a very good manager to use the players that we have and use them well, because there's so much quality in that squad, and to use
Okay.
them effectively takes a real doing. So to be honest, it's over the last few weeks, and really particularly Liverpool.
Okay.
That Liverpool result is
Some
where he should have
comments
gone.
here. When again, it's going back to the question when you would have sacked him. Chap says here 6-1 Spurs at home. I would sack him last season after he knocked out of the Champions League. Um, After the Leipzig game, he should have been sacked. Well, go back to that game. If jog my memory, chaps, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the game where Fred was on a yellow and didn't take him off? Am I correct?
Think so, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay Sam says after Liverpool 5-0 defeat.
Yeah.
Vicky says Ole out, and most important thing, his coaching staff. I agree. Sean, our good friend in Texas, says go on, Ross. We can hear you. We've got one here. Ole certainly improved the team, but to go next level, winning the PL, we need somebody else. Looking here now. I'm a City fan. He'll have to stay till he retires, and that's it, lads. Rival fans are now chanting Ole at the wheel because they know, and any non-United fan knows that the longer he is there, the less chance we have of winning actual trophies. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I would have been the same under when Liverpool at Hodgson. It's the same thing. It's just
Yeah, it
rivalries. I
is.
get that, but
Look, it's
you know,
banter, and I get it. I get it.
yeah,
Chap
yeah,
here
but
says if Ole wasn't a club legend, he would have been gone a long time ago.
yeah.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Indy, do you think if Ole wasn't a club legend, he'd be gone long before now?
100%, definitely.
Okay.
But lads, look at Chelsea there. Like Lampard's a club legend, but they just
Yeah,
said no, he's not. He's not good for the team. We have to let him go. And there's no real hard feelings there. It's just they have good owners. Put it
they
like
they
that.
they
They have good
care about
owners and decisive
all
owners.
we care about is top four.
Exactly.
Yeah, and unfortunately now, lads, we have become the Arsenal of the 2020s, and that's
Oh,
just unfortunately the way it is. A chap here says it's only going to get worse. Ole should be sacked now. Another guy says Ole should be gone after Leicester loss. Yeah, like he played Maguire, who was culpable for 3 of the 4 goals, and still dropped him. So that for me is a sacking offence.
See,
Ole's
that's it,
depth.
Jay.
Like the question I have for you guys, and I wrote a piece on it. I think think now going back on 3 weeks ago, and the piece that I wrote for United Stand was
their manager. Like if we had have done it earlier, you bring in someone like a Rangnick or someone like that, or even a Ten Hag if he left Ajax, someone like that who could take the season and finish fourth or third. But at this stage, the way I see it, and the way we're playing, and the way Arsenal's playing, and Conte's appointment, we'll be very lucky to get in the top four, whether we have Ollie or not. We'll be very lucky either way. So that's partly why I'm getting a bit bitter about the whole thing, because we're damned if we do and damned if we don't at this stage, because the board weren't decisive enough, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah,
Indy, we'll make top four, you think?
I'm going to say no. It's hard to say. The thing is, there's so many good managers now in the Prem, I think. I mean, look at Crystal Palace now. Vieira. It's just there's so many different teams now that are just doing better and got so many. Well, they've got tactics. Ollie has got nothing.
Yeah. But Indy, to play devil's advocate there, though, I do think that it'll be our squad quality and individual brilliance that will get us just over the line. It's not
Bruno saving us, people like that. Everyone's going to save us, but at the end of the day, it comes down to tactics. We will eventually we'll just drop.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but it's the idea when you have Ronaldo on your side, when you have players of that quality there to save you and win you games. It doesn't matter if my gran was in charge. We'd still win games to a certain extent. We just wouldn't win the important ones, but I mean, we get over the line. Now, by no means do I want to be playing Conference League football in fourth place. That's not what I want for this club. But to be honest, with asking Jay, you answering the question of whether we'll get in top four or not. Just about, I think we'll be fourth this season, but hanging by a thread, and that's with or without Ollie. To be honest, at this stage,
I think we move the conversation on from Ollie now. A lot of chatter on the socials about Rangnick coming in as the interim manager, and from my read of it, Rangnick will only come in if he can bring his own staff, and also knowing what I know of him, he seems to be a very astute, intelligent individual. I'm thinking he's only going to come take it over as an interim if he can appoint the new manager next summer, and he can move upstairs to become the director of football that we have been crying out for the last 10 years. Do you chaps think the club are astute enough to hire someone of the caliber of Rangnick, who will come in basically and affect change in that club over the next 5 years? Or is it for them, they don't want change, they want another yes man? What do you think, guys?
It's an interesting one, definitely. Personally, I don't know much about the manager, so I can't say whether he'd be the perfect fit for the club or not. I can't. But on the point of whether he'd affect change in the next 5 years, personally, I'd love to be optimistic and say yes, but I think any manager who would take over at this club with the board setup we have is not going to go anywhere because of the board that we have. We don't have a board that flourishes, and we don't have a board that encourages that type of decision making. As you said yourself, we have yes men, and that's why Ollie got the job in the first place. So that's personally why I think it's going to be very tough for any manager to come in and try and salvage and bring some of that football IQ that we're seeing at Ajax, that we're seeing in teams in the Premier League. We're not going to have that, and so that's why. And I don't mean to be negative about it, but I think that's going to be the case.
Indy, your thoughts?
I mean, exactly. The board's it's just terrible. It's not going to let us do anything to succeed in whatsoever. It's literally there's a stopping point for each manager, and it's just going to fail each time. Even with the coaches, for instance, they're still looking to extend their contracts. It's pathetic.
Yeah, I get it, man. Like, excuse me, the very fact that they were even contemplating extend the contracts of Carrick and McKenna is whimsical. It really, really is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, we're not, and I always say it, but I mean, we're fans. We see what they're seeing. We're not stupid. Do you know what I mean? We can see what's going on, and it's clearly just board ineptitude. That's all it is. It's ineptitude on their part, and I find it very hard to believe that Joel Glazer sits and watches United week in, week out, because if he did, he would see the problems that we're seeing. They're not fans. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at your guy.
Are too busy watching Tom Brady lob 40-yard passes
Yeah.
to Chris Godwin and 20-yard of their tight end Gronkowski. That's what
Yeah,
they're watching. Like, you know,
that's it.
Ross, I'm a massive NFL fan. Massive
Oh,
NFL fan.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I get more joy watching NFL than watching United. I'm
yeah.
sorry, Indy, but I genuinely do.
No, I agree. I enjoy literally watching any other sport right now. It's getting to the point where I just don't want to watch them. It's pathetic. I enjoy watching Crystal Palace more and Arsenal more
Yeah.
than United, which is a
I'm
hard
the same,
thing
man.
to
I
say.
don't know
Indy,
if you guys watched the Liverpool and West Ham game.
Yeah. What a game, lads. What a game.
What a game.
Like,
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, they
if
play
you were
better
showing
football.
football to somebody that never seen football, show them a game of that nature, or show them the recent one between Atleti and Liverpool. That's entertainment. Don't show them us. Do not show them any of our games because we're shit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. But, you know, if he's going to do something like a 5 at the back and play that type of football and counter-attacking, at least do it well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can understand that, you know, he may have to go to a back 5, you know, for whatever reason he feels now wants to be Conte incarnated. You know, that's up to him. But at least do it and do it with conviction. It's like there's a back and forth. You know, when Varane went off, he takes off Bailly and brings on Sancho and goes forward at the back. He's so stubborn in other ways, but not stubborn in the ways that he should be as a manager. And that's ultimately going to be his downfall. You know, it's really sad to see, to be honest. It really is.
Somebody here has commented on my blazer. Well, if you're wearing a blazer, lads, it's all about the pocket square. Because, and you got to have some pretty fly lining. That's how you wear a blazer, lads. See, like, you have other clothes that are just not tight t-shirts, you know? Sorry, I had to get that one in. On Woodward on the board, yesterday, lads, another story came out that Woodward is going to stay on as a consultant. Now, for me, the only thing he can consult on is incompetence, indecision, and how not to run a football club, but yet he's staying on as consultant, which just shows that club is rotten to the core.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Sorry, Andy, go for it.
I still don't know how if he is going to become a consultant, it's just mates rates. You're getting your friends to extend more contracts, and you know they're not good enough, but they do the job. They're yes men. They get money at the end of the day. They take dividends out. They're doing what you want them to do. It's just that.
Yeah.
Somebody
that's exactly
here
it. And you know,
in the comments,
that's why.
And I want you to respond, and I want you to body him, Liverpool fan. It's always great when we get Liverpool fans in the chat here. And he says, Ronaldo is overrated. Indy, go.
Where do I even start? How is he overrated? He's keeping us. He's scoring every single goal for us. He's literally making us what we are right now. Because without him, you're telling me Martial, Rashford, Cavani. These. I mean, Cavani maybe, but then again, can he play every game? Rashford, Greenwood, these people, they're not ready to score these amount of goals that Ronaldo's scoring. It's just, how is he saying that? Bobby Firmino, yeah, I'm pretty sure Liverpool fans would take Ronaldo over Bobby Firmino. It is pathetic how they are saying Ronaldo's overrated. He kept Juventus where they were. He literally got them a trophy. Without Ronaldo, they wouldn't have won the trophy that they won with him. And did they finish top 4? I can't remember, but they wouldn't have finished where they did without him, definitely.
That's it. No, listen.
Yesterday, lads, on that, right, there's a show in Ireland called Off the Ball, and it is they think they're highbrow, right? It's a whole media empire in Ireland, Off the Ball, and yesterday they hit on one of the guys yesterday was saying that Ronaldo was the problem with the club, that the problems all stemmed from Ronaldo, and that is a national radio station in this country, which incidentally won't put me on. They won't. They won't put me on because I'm going to obviously put them in their fucking body bag. But that's coming from a national radio station. That's kind of crap you hear in TalkSport. That paid pundits think Ronaldo is the issue, which is ludicrous. And as you said, Indy, without his goals and the his saves, we're mid-table.
Not even mid-table.
Yeah.
I think lower. It's really pathetic how people think. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was one of the people who did think Ronaldo maybe would not. Well, I didn't think he'd benefit us in some departments, because with Ollie, we did see this counter-attacking, pacey, pressure team, and I just knew Ronaldo wasn't about that, and I knew he wasn't going to press as much. But he's scoring all the goals.
Ronaldo never pressed. Like back in 08, Tevez and Rooney did all the pressing for him.
Exactly.
That's how it was. And under Ferguson, Ronaldo didn't have to press because that wasn't his game. He's there to knock the ball in the net. It's a commentary from a Juventus fan. Again, I love to get comments from other fans of other clubs. And he says, as a Juventus fan, Ronaldo saved us last season. We were fourth because of him. Okay. Another one here. He's got more Champions Leagues than the whole Liverpool team and their last teams in 20 years. Boom. One here, Bobby Mitchell says, involved in 50% of our goals this season. And one here, why ain't Lingard playing after the form he showed for West Ham? Does anyone want to respond to that?
I think Lingard was quite good for West Ham. Yes, I watched him a lot for West Ham. I just don't think he suits, especially not the 5-at-the-back system that Ollie seems to be persistent with now. He just doesn't suit it. He's a great player. We should have sold him in the summer. He would have been a great addition to West Ham. If you believe the news, it would let you know that he wanted to fight for his place in this team. But I think it's his own doing, because I don't think he's had that good of an impact. I mean, he led to the second goal that Young Boys scored against us, and while he's had okay kind of additions as an impact sub, I don't think he's reaching his potential. And if his goal is clearly to reach the England squad and be successful in that department, I don't think United's the squad for him. So as much as he's been okay, I don't think he's reached the potential of what he was last season. So it's not worth his while staying. I really don't think.
Indeed, do you want to have a word on Lingard?
Lingard, where do I start? We definitely should have sold him, because I did watch all of his games for West Ham. I wanted to see, because I loved the Jesse Lingard that we saw in that cup final. People call him Messi Lingard. He was that good. We know what a player he can be, but
yeah.
I think Ollie's just being a bit greedy. He's trying to. He wants that Lingard, but he can't get much out of him, because firstly, he's not a good enough manager. And Lingard needs to be in a team where it's like West Ham, press from the front, just fast counter-attacking. And we're not that anymore with Ronaldo. We need to keep the ball more. That's why we need to play players such as Van der Beek, Pogba, Sancho. I'm surprised how Sancho hasn't played more games.
Well,
he's our best winger.
The spin this morning from the club was that the coaching staff, now bear in mind, the coaching staff that could not get us through transition from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2 are now going to convert Sancho to a wing back.
It's abhorrent.
Again, that's coming from the propaganda and the spin from the club, because they have to spin something today. Every day they got to spin some story. The comment here, guys, it's a lovely one from Dean Harris. The club doesn't want to bring anyone in that answers them back and does what he wants. And Solsjkaer doesn't do that. Fergie did what he wanted, and we were successful. And that is a spot-on comment. Hence why we weren't even in talks to get Conte.
Exactly. They're just too comfortable right now. They've been comfortable for the past 3 years, ever since they got Ollie, to say yes, man, constantly giving them what they want. And now they're just too comfortable.
I think the real issue, I think, with Ollie, and I think it's a real predicament we're in as fans, is that I think that, and we have I think we have, good enough fixtures coming up now. I think Ollie will win a couple more games, and he might get to the stage again where there's a positive spin in the media, and that maybe if Ollie wins 2 or 3 games in a row, it'll be Ollie's fighting his way back into the squad and he's earning the fans' respect again. It's just a constant seesaw between Ollie out, Ollie in. There's no, and that's what's really frustrating, because I think at this stage, if Ollie isn't gone, he's not going to go anytime soon, because I don't think we're going to suffer as big a defeat as we already have now this season. That's our lot. So if Ollie hasn't been gone by that stage, it really shows the standards of the board that we have, because if they're just happy to accept 5-0 defeats to Liverpool, 2-0 defeats to arch rivals, I just think it's not good enough. But they're perfectly happy to take the chance, keep him on, and wait to see what happens at the end of the season, which Gary Neville was fighting for in Sky Sports. It's absolutely idiotic. You know, so it shows the standards of the board, really does.
But that's it, Ross. You just put in the head there in one word: standards. The standards are in the toilet, and the standards are clearly just get top 4, just do enough that we can extrapolate our dividends, and also just do enough that in every financial quarter, our social media interactions are of a very high standard. Like the club is making now a big song and dance that they've got, like, I think it's like 1 million followers on TikTok. I don't give a shit about TikTok. I couldn't care less. It's not indie. It's not my generation. I don't care. But the club are now focusing on TikTok because the likes of us three here, we're legacy fans. We're expendable. We are expendable. And the Super League, their mindset was legacy fans are expendable. They can be replaced with a social media generation. And as a club, lads, and everybody watching, we've supported all our lives. And that, I find, lads, is disgusting.
Exactly. We're just blind to the fact. We get blind over results because at the end of the day, we're just fans. Yeah, we want good results, and we'll get happy after a good result, and then we'll get smacked down to reality after another. It's just up down constantly, like the seesaw effect that you were talking about. It's getting that bad where I don't really care whether we win or lose now.
And to be honest, I just think the club is turning into a full-blown brand. You know, as much as we've already had that element of a brand since the Glazers come in. And to be honest, I don't think it's been all bad. You know, the advertising models that the club has had and the way that we've gathered fans, you know, we have a massive following in Asia and things. That's all grand because that's what being a fan's about. But at the same time, you're taking... and you know, we hear all this spin about football DNA. There's no football DNA in this squad that we have now. You know, there's absolutely none of it because we're losing that because of the way this board is running the club. So while they've done such good things in advertising and the way that they've marketed the club, it's been taken away from what is known to be a fan. That's my problem. It's more of a brand than a football club. And when it gets to that stage, I think it's beyond repair. And ideally for me, it's just, you know, get the Glazers out. You know, and I know there's protest organised for Saturday. So I don't know, man. I don't think any of us have answers. We just have problems that we want solved.
Indy and Ross and everybody watching, I could chat to you two gentlemen all day. I could. But unfortunately, I got to go back in now and give sales training to a bunch of people that probably don't want to even see me again after this morning. So, lads, I got to call it off now. But Indy, man, some great points, brother. Love to have you on again. Ross is a regular with me, but we'll definitely have you on again, Indy, okay?
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Andy. Nice to meet you.
Guys, as ever, thanks for watching Lunchtime Live, United Stand. Obviously, Mark will drop some other videos during the course of the day for any breaking news. Obviously, we all agree Ole is a dead man walking. It's not a question of if, it's when. So have a great day, guys. See you all soon.